Sharia law is not compatible with Western civilization. Fact number 2, radical Islam glorifies violence. Fact number 3, Sharia law has no place in our country. Radical Islam teaches harming innocent people, which the last time I checked is the complete opposite of America's Constitution, which protects of all people.
Sharia law and radical Islam have no place in the United States. You know, there's a fundamental truth that I think we've got to recognize, which is that not all cultures are created equal, and they are not all equally compatible with America's governing framework. The reality is that radical Islam as a political ideology has a very different conception of freedom of speech than we have in the United States, a very different conception of freedom of religion, of separation of church and state, or of mosque and state. Islam as a political ideology is inherently imperialistic, and we see that now, unfortunately, all over the Western world.
Sharia law is not welcome in America's legal system, and here's why. In America, the law comes from the Constitution. That is our rule book. The Constitution is what everything is based on. Sharia law, however, comes from religion. That is a totally different rule book. America says you can believe anything you want, but the laws stay separate. Sharia mixes law and belief together, and that does not match how we do things here in America. America lets you speak your mind, you can joke, you can complain, you can make memes about the government if you want. And Sharia has limits on speech, and that clashes with the American style. In the United States, men and women have the same legal rights. In Sharia, men and women can have different legal roles. That does not line up with our system either. In America, punishments go through courts, lawyers, and appeals. However, Sharia can involve physical punishments. Our Constitution would shut that down instantly. Here in America, marriage and divorce are done through civil law, and Sharia uses religious rules. Again, the systems, they don't match. This is why America has to be super careful about who we let into our country. In countries like Poland, they take this very seriously. Poland is super strict about who they let enter into their country because they want to protect their laws, as well as their culture and their way of life. Poland makes sure that people follow their system, no exceptions. And I think America and many other countries can learn from that level of caution. The bottom line is simple. The two systems, they do not fit together. America runs on freedom, individual rights, and the Constitution. Sharia law is a religious system, and it does not line up with our values. And that's why Sharia law does not fit here in America.
Those shouting, "Give us Sharia law" in US are now sad for being deported to their country where they will practice Sharia law. What is your opinion on this and about Nigeria also practicing Sharia law?
So under Sharia law, if you are a part of the LGBT community, you're going to be no ifs, ands, or buts. Point blank, period. No questions. Under Sharia law, husbands are able to their wives. You know what I'm trying to say. Under Sharia law, girls, once they hit the age of puberty, are able to get married. Under Sharia law, women are forced to be covered from head to toe. Under Sharia law, women are also not seen as equal to men under any circumstance, no shape or form. So yes, I do know a little bit about Sharia law. And something that I even know better than that is that Sharia law and Western civilization, it doesn't mesh well, okay? It doesn't mix.
These are some of the rules that are included under Sharia law doctrine. Homosexuality is punishable by death. Criticizing the Quran is punishable by death. Criticizing Muhammad is punishable by death. Husbands can have up to 4 wives. Fathers have the right to marry off their daughters. All of that sounds totally insane to me. Do you think there are Muslims practicing Sharia law in this country, in America right now?
I think there's no question that that's happening, and there's no question that they're pushing for it to happen. I think the big issue is this. If you want to practice your religion in peace and privacy, you're welcome to do that in the United States of America. But if practicing your religion means others have to submit to you, that's not okay. So I'm Jewish. I don't eat pork, but I don't expect the grocery store to stop selling it. And a big part of what we're dealing with is mainstream Islam demanding that we change what it means to be in America to accommodate them. And that is not okay.
The Prophet ﷺ said, oppression is darkness, day of judgment. And so how were Muslims capable of oppressing? And my father said, power corrupts, greed destroys the heart of people, and that oftentimes we might proclaim ourselves to be Muslim, but we neglect to do the study and the justice that is required to carry out our faith.
Why is everyone suddenly talking about Sharia law in the United States? And what did Ilhan Omar actually say that sparked this reaction? A viral discussion involving Ilhan Omar and Sharia law has sparked strong reactions online and in communities nationwide. Some people are concerned, others are curious, and many are asking the same question: what does this actually mean? Is this being misunderstood, or is there something bigger behind the headline? In this video, we're breaking down what started the debate, why it's trending right now, and how different groups across the country are responding. Because in today's world, one topic can quickly turn into the nationwide conversation, and understanding it matters. Credit goes to all creators whose clips are featured in this episode. And for disclaimers, this video is for commentary and educational purposes. If this video interests you, do well to like, subscribe, share, and don't forget to turn your notification bell so you don't miss the next conversation. Let's dive into it.
So Governor Abbott went ahead and took a couple steps ahead and banned Sharia law in Texas.
The ban on Sharia law in Texas is now strengthened.
The ceremonial signing met with cheers in McKinney. Governor Abbott, flanked by lawmakers who pushed through HB 4211 in response, they say, to Epic City, a Muslim-centric community planned on the edge of Collin County, accused of housing discrimination.
This law prevents them from creating no-go zones.
Listen to these key ideologies that Sharia law teaches its followers: honor killings, stoning, lashing, or amputation for crimes such as theft, blasphemy, or adultery, imposing the death penalty for apostasy. And for those who don't understand apostasy, if someone wanted to leave Islam. For anyone wondering why radical Islam is dangerous and should be kept as far away from America as possible, they should just consider these few examples I've just given. To think radical Islam is not a close threat is far from the truth. We all see the rise of Zohran Mamdani's New York, which is becoming a front page for radical Islam, a place where extremists feel emboldened. We all witnessed a recent ISIS-inspired terrorist attack in New York, where two young men threw homemade bombs into a group of protesters. Mamdani's response to that terror attack? Blame it on white supremacy. Radical Islam is staining America. It is not just a danger in places like New York. It's made itself clear in a small, quiet suburban town.
Just super quickly, would you all support Sharia law coming to America?
Oh, are you recording?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, America is a country not founded on Sharia law, and bringing that into America is a very difficult process, and I don't think it would fit in. America is all types of ethnicities and cultures, and putting in Sharia law just projects America into one category, which is not what American freedom is about.
Yeah, she's right. Why did she get a lot of hate for this? What? Right? Sharia law is a religious law, right? And America was built on separating religion from the government. Hello? America is plural. You got Muslims, atheists, Sikhs, Christians, Jews, Mormons. They're all under one government law, protecting each of their beliefs. Hello? Right? So if you enforce one religious law onto everybody, yeah, you erase everyone else. Sheesh. Let's not do that. So, bringing a Sharia law, a Christian law, a Jewish law, any religious law into the government, yeah, it breaks that whole system of freedom of religion that America's built on. That's no longer America, basically, at that point.
As we wrap this up, it's clear that this topic goes far beyond a single headline or viral moment. What we are really seeing is how quickly conversation can spread and how different people can interpret the same issue. For some, the debate raises concern about law, value, and national identity. For others, it's about understanding context, protecting religious freedom, and avoiding misinformation. And that contrast is important because in a country as diverse as the United States, perspective will always vary. And that's part of what shapes this conversation. But here is the key takeaway: staying informed matters. It's easy to react to clips, headlines, or social media posts, but taking time to look deeper, ask questions, and hear multiple viewpoints can completely change how we understand an issue. Conversations like this don't just have simple answers, but they do create opportunities for awareness, dialogue, and critical thinking. So whether you agree, disagree, or are still forming your opinion, your voice is part of this conversation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdown on trending topics. And now I want to hear from you. What is your perspective on this debate? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's keep the conversation going. See you in my next episode.